at the buzzer. 5 years, $150.5 million for Jalen Suggs. The Orlando Magic have given the young guard a rookie contract extension worth about $30 million per year. Now, this was kind of in the realm of the deal that we were all expecting, especially when we talked about this over the summer and yesterday, but things got a little cloudy as they went up to just about the final hour before the deadline at 6 today. Today we're going to be talking about why this deal needed to get done today, and if Jalen Suggs is even worth $30 million per year. What are the teams thinking? What is actually the details of this contract that we're still waiting to see? But first, guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It is the easiest and best way to support us here at Magic Digest. We're trying to build an Orlando Magic basketball community here on YouTube. In the last couple of videos, love to hear what you guys have been saying about the Orlando Magic as a team going into the new season as it starts in now a couple days. So let me preface this. Think of it like it's Christmas, and you said you wanted this one specific big thing. You've gotten a lot of really nice other things, and you don't want to be a spoiled brat, but you haven't opened that big PlayStation or Xbox or whatever you wanted, truly, the big thing, the most expensive thing that you really asked for as a little kid. Well, that was kind of the Magic fans. We felt like we were spoiled. We re-signed everybody. We got KCP. Felt like the offseason was calm, calculated, made sense from all sides. Franz got extended, everything like that. But we were still waiting on Jalen Suggs, right? And Franz may have been that big fish, obviously, but the Jalen Suggs deal was really crucial, especially with how the CBA is. Well, it is now officially done. This comes from Shams, ESPN senior reporter. Magic extend Jalen Suggs on 5-year, $150 million deal. Now, this is $150.5 million, but tomato, it is about $30 million per year. We're going to come to see some of the other bonuses or incentives or what have you that are in this deal, but right now we don't really know too much outside of this. But we do know Suggs increased his shooting percentages pretty much across the board from year 2 to year 3, and he's only 22 years old, and he's second team all defense last year, and he is going to be the starting point guard for the Orlando Magic and the undisputed floor general for this team, at least at the very start of the season. So why did this deal need to get done? Outside of everything that I just said just a second ago about his role on the team, there was some stuff about the CBA that were very concerning, and it was why the Orlando Magic probably didn't want to go much further above $30 million per year, and it's why he's sitting at 5 years, $150 million. A lot of the rumor was 4 years, $120. Looks like Jalen Suggs wanted that long-term security, and he wanted that extra year, and the Orlando Magic ended up giving him. I would say that was probably where both sides were kind of questioning maybe a little bit. I think or even I would say the Orlando Magic maybe wanted to give him that extra year and didn't want Jalen Suggs to have another contract in 4 years and then have to pay him again. Either side I could see, but I think that the years may have been the holdup rather than the money. I think we all agreed kind of that $30 million was the price that we had heard for about 4 months now, or even longer. And that was just going to be what he was signed for per year. There's been some sticker shock I've seen around the league. A lot of people have been kind of concerned about, hey, like, oh my God, how are these role players getting this much money? Hey, that's just the nature of the beast. That's just what the NBA is worth and what these players are worth, so they're going to get paid like that. So no arguments here. But knowing kind of what his salary was going to be, the reason why we needed to get this done and in the ballpark is because if you didn't get it done, you wouldn't get it in this ballpark after the season. And I think that was something that a lot of people overlooked when we were talking about this contract. I said I didn't want to go above $30 million, but not that I wanted to sign him in restricted free agency, because I truly do think that a team would throw a bag at him. A team that's not in a win-now scenario would see Jalen Suggs, like we all believe he's going to be, as a first-team all-defensive player, as a guy who can run your offense, average more than 3 assists per game, and score 15 points per game on the open market. They see him do that, they're going to pay him, and he's probably going to be getting more than $30 million per year. We just saw Jalen Green signed earlier today at $5 million more per year. Now, I'm not arguing that Jalen Green isn't exactly going to be a potential franchise piece for a team like the Houston Rockets, and Jalen Suggs, I do think, is a franchise piece now for the Orlando Magic, certainly getting paid like it, but I don't think there's too much argument that Jalen Green's ceiling, if he can clean some stuff up, is probably a little higher. But I mean, I digress. I'm not trying to say anything too controversial with that. That's not really the point of this video. But Jalen Suggs obviously has that Drew Holiday feel to him. That's what a lot of teams would be banking on. And if he were to hit restricted free agency after having a really good year that we all think he would have, he's going to get paid more than 5 years, $150 million, at least yearly. So that was why this was huge to get done. And also, the Paolo Banchero extension, that's going to happen next summer, and that is going to be a max deal that is going to be worth a lot of money, and this team just has to be careful of those aprons, just as every team in the NBA now has to really be careful of the aprons, and you don't want to get into the second apron. I think a lot of teams have opted to say, look, these taxes are too crazy to even get in the first one, much less the second one. Now, is he worth this amount of money? And what exactly are the circumstances going forward for the team? Well, I do think that Jalen Suggs is worth the money. I did say in the previous videos that I was a little scared about him getting $30 million per year. Now I realize that that is just the realistic asking price, and now obviously, of course, that is what he's going to be paid. But there's potential here. There's more than just 13 points per game and 3 assists. There is a potential for 16 points, 6 to 7 assists. Now, is that worth $30 million? I get it, but you have to factor in the defense. You have to factor in how much better of a shooter he has been over the years since he got into the league. And, of course, he's playing as a guy who is at least, pretty reliable as far as health is concerned. He's healthy now. He was healthy last year. That is kind of what you're banking on. The first 2 years were injury riddled. You got a guy coming out of Gonzaga. Felt like he had that star potential. Injuries derailed the first 2 years, but then he was able to get back on track. That's the kind of guy that we're looking at. Increase those efficiency numbers, points per game. You're really projecting him to have a complete improvement this upcoming season. I mean, and I think he will. But that's the projection. That's why he got paid, and that's why I do agree with this number. Any higher, I would have had a problem. If we got into some of the other contracts that I mentioned yesterday, I would have had a problem. If we got into OG and Anunoby $40 million range, I would have had an issue. If we ended up getting too short of a deal, I probably would have also had an issue because, of course, if I think that somebody's going to pay him in restricted free agency, I think that somebody's definitely going to offer him something in unrestricted free agency. So those were all things that needed to be considered, and I do, because of those things, like where this deal is at. Now, well, we'll see. It'll all remain to be seen as the year goes on, but Jalen Suggs still played very well in the preseason. He seemed to have been passing the ball very well, and I think a lot of people, if you wanted to stay away from a contract like this, they would have liked to see Anthony Black and Jet Howard, see how they play, maybe even Tristan da Silva, see what we would have had in those playmaking young guys. But I think that this was a deal that needed to be made. And yeah, you could end up with guys that are on the outside looking in, but I think that they think that these are your top 3 guys. I don't know if Jalen Suggs can be the 3rd best player on a championship team, but that will be the question that will be asked for a very long time. And maybe Franz might end up getting the brunt of that, as can he be the 2nd best player on a championship team? Or maybe even Paolo is the best player on a championship team. But eventually, if those 2 guys check off those boxes, I think Jalen Suggs' contract is going to come into question. But right now, if you're watching this video and you're not a Magic fan, you just got to realize this was kind of the situation. It was realistic, and this is what they were going to have to pay him, in my opinion, to get him to stay. And this makes sense. Will they be able to move off of this deal? I think if he continues to get, on the trajectory to get better across the board, I do think you can end up moving this contract as well, but that's maybe too far out ahead. But guys, let me know what you think. I didn't crash out today, so it's been a happy day. I came back to you guys with some good news, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like this deal for the Orlando Magic? Is Jalen Suggs worth $30 million per year? It does seem like the consensus is that he is worth that amount of money, but would love to hear what you guys think. I will see you guys next time, hopefully with some more good news. I don't know what it would be, but because today's pretty good, but hopefully with some more good news on Orlando Magic basketball. But until then, I will see you guys next time.